There's a lot of craziness happening in the world right now. I try to avoid it. I only like to look at positive things. I'm doing this live stream because I'd recommend you do the same. I'm going to explain why. So in Gnostic philosophy, there is this concept of the Archons. The Archons are thought to be rulers, and these Archons feed on negative energy. They feed on fear, anxiety, anger. This is maybe one of the reasons I decided to become a hypnotherapist and help people with negative emotions. I'm not saying that I fully believe in Gnostic philosophy, but it's a possibility. When I look at some of the things that are happening in the world, I think it's more and more likely, to be honest. So when you're getting anxious and angry, you're feeding these Archons, you're giving them your power. And you might even know people like this in your family and personal life. Energy vampires, narcissistic people who will wind you up just to get a reaction. Some people, they just seek attention. They don't care if it's good or bad attention. They're just seeking a reaction from you. The best thing you can do with those kind of people is to grey rock them. I would say if the Archons are real, the best thing you can do with the Archons is to grey rock them as well. And I'll be talking more about how to use the grey rock technique later in this stream. It's going crazy. I don't know if there's an agenda or if it's the alignment of the planets or something. Tell me what you think in the comments and chat box. Tell me, do you think there's a global agenda, or is it the alignment of the planets? Do you believe in the Archons? Let me know your thoughts down below. Anyway, not giving your energy to these Archons and energy vampires is one reason you want to avoid negative news. You want to avoid negativity as much as possible. Another reason, and again I'm being a bit philosophical in tonight's live stream, a man called Vadim Zeland, he wrote a book called Reality Transfer. In that book he talks about energy pendulums. Pendulums basically become entities, they become things that are generating negative energy in people, that are consuming people's negative energy. It doesn't just have to be negative, it could be positive energy as well, like a superstar or pop star or something. They can have their own pendulum. David Beckham was an example. Late in his career, he got Britain knocked out of the World Cup by kicking someone, and everyone turned against him, everyone hated him. That's an example of a pendulum. COVID could have been an example of a pendulum as well. I'm not going into that. But anyway, if you get caught up in these things, according to New Zealand, they're going to sweep you away. They're going to take you down a very dark path. So another reason you want to avoid anything that generates negative emotions in you, anything that causes you to become anxious or angry. You want to not look at it. And then algorithms. Algorithms, they could also be a kind of pendulum, a digital pendulum. They're designed to show you more of what you react to. Social media sites, they're there to get engagement, to keep users on the platform. One of the ways, probably the most effective way they can do that, is by generating emotions within you. If people are angry and arguing, then that's going to be when they're most engaged. That's going to be lots of free content for social media platforms. They're going to do everything they can to try and generate that, to keep people online, to keep people engaged. So the more you react to negative news, negative social media posts, the more negative news and negative social media posts you're going to find. And in your brain, you've got something called the Reticular Activating System. Its job is to sort all the information your senses are taking in and find what's most relevant to you. So if you're believing that the world is going to pot, I think is the expression. I don't want to swear, so we'll say going to pot. You believe that, your reticular activating system is going to sort all the information your senses are going to taking in. It's going to find more information to reinforce those beliefs. Those beliefs are going to become stronger. One way you can combat this is with journaling, looking for things to be grateful for, looking for positives in your life, enjoying time in nature. The more you notice the positives, the more positives you're going to find, the more your reticular activating system is going to become programmed to find positive things for you. So that is pendulums, that is the archons, that is energy vampires, that is why you should focus your attention on the positive. Are the people running the world narcissists or psychopaths? Are they archons? I don't know. Let me know what you think in a comment down below. I do know that good people don't seek positions of power. So, similarly, the worst people are going to be drawn to those kind of positions. People who should least be there. And one thing that I learned from living with narcissists is the more you react to them, the worse they're going to get. The more negative energy you give these energy vampires, the more negative energy they're going to seek. So what I do, as I said, I avoid negative media as much as possible. I do not look at the news. I avoid anyone who posts negative things on Facebook or LinkedIn. Don't watch negative YouTube videos. Unsubscribe from channels like that. And I grey rock. Grey rocking comes from, as I said, dealing with narcissists and narcissistic abuse. These people are looking for an emotional reaction from you. When you don't give them an emotional reaction, you're keeping your power, and they generally get even more angry until they eventually give up and go and find someone else to pick on. So when you find yourself feeling angry or anxious, looking at what's happening in the world, use the grey rock method. Remember, don't give it your energy. If something makes you feel negative feelings, avoid it as much as possible. If you can't avoid it, just don't give it your energy. Just look at it and don't have any kind of emotional reaction. Bring your focus back to the positive. And hypnosis can also be very beneficial for this, because if you're looking at negative news and economy crashing and Keir Starmer, is he a narcissist or a psychopath, you're looking at things like that, probably generating negative images in your mind. You're probably imagining the worst case scenario. You're probably thinking, oh my God, how am I going to pay the bills if this carries on, if this gets any worse? And when you visualize, your mind can't tell the difference between a real or an imagined event. So the more you imagine those things, the more you're creating new neural pathways in your brain and wiring your brain to become the person that you fear becoming. Much better to think about who you want to be, what your goals are. And I did a live stream recently talking about goal setting and SMART goals. Go back on my channel and have a look at that. Maybe I'll link it up there somewhere if you're watching the replay. Set your goals, know what you want to achieve, and visualize yourself achieving that goal. That will create neural pathways in a positive way, allowing you to become the person you want to be. So that's the end of tonight's live stream. If you liked it and found it useful, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. Let me know down below what you think. Are the Archons real? Do psychopaths run the world? Maybe tell us what your goals are. Let us know down below. If you're interested in hypnotherapy, you can go to my website, markstubbles.com, where you can book a free consultation call with me, find out about hypnotherapy, how hypnotherapy can help you. You can also download my free inner child healing and depression and anxiety workbooks. So thank you very much for watching. See you next time.